Hello. Uh, in this video, I would like to discuss a little bit the link between yoga and veganism. What is the link? Um, why do I talk so much about veganism in relation to yoga? That's a good question. And there's a definite strong link between the two. So in yoga, there's like a famous text that many yogis know, at least in name, the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. And in this text, there is something called the 8 limbs of Patanjali, where he discusses like a kind of practice, how to practice yoga, some sense. It is a kind of overview, so it doesn't give really methods, but it is very useful, and for us especially, the first, so it divides it in like 8 limbs, and the first limb is very important, is the yamas. So it's like the do's and don'ts for yogis in relation to others. So there are 5 of them, and if we analyze all 5 of them, we will see that basically all of them are violated when we eat non-vegan food. It is as simple as that. There is a wonderful book that was written by Sharon Gannon, Yoga and Veganism, The Diet of Enlightenment, and I 100% endorse it. It's a wonderful book. I would encourage everybody to read it if they really want to know why of veganism. It so much makes sense. So I will just go briefly, of course, this is not a lecture. So like the first one is Ahimsa. So Ahimsa, many people know what it is. It's like non-violence. And yeah, veganism is certainly a non-violent way to interact with others. Important to know that others doesn't mean only humans, it's all beings, including animals. So when we are non-violent against any being, then we are following this so-called rule. I mean, do I need to say anything more? It's like when we eat animals, what they had to endure is tremendous violence. So of course it fits. Second one is Satya, so truth, and well, it can be seen in many ways, but basically all the meat, dairy, eggs, also honey industries, they hide the truth from us. It is said that if the like slaughterhouses had transparent walls, everybody would be vegan, basically. So it's they do the best to hide the truth, and through marketing and whatnot, yeah, to be able to sell their product, because it's like a billions dollar industry. So they work on money. If they don't have money, they are bankrupt. And yeah, I wouldn't mind that they go bankrupt, but I would love for them to switch to a plant-based meat or eggs or dairy. That would be even better than they go bankrupt, that they switch 100% to something that is compassionate, sustainable, and logical. So yeah, truth is for sure something that is not followed. Then the first one is Asteya. So it's non-stealing. Wow, where to start with that one? We are first we are stealing the animals, so we are stealing living beings that never asked to be in that position, so they want us to be free in nature, and we take them and put them in cages for months, days or years, and then we slaughter them and eat them. Not only eat them, some also in the fashion industry there are some foxes or bears which will be killed just for their fur. That's no better than the meat industry. So vegan is not only about diet. Vegan is a lifestyle that encompasses compassion. Also stealing so the cows, when they give in order to have milk, the cow needs to be pregnant. It may not be evident, but they are mammals, so they do not give milk just for us or for anyone. And so they are pregnant like 4 or 5 times in their lifetimes in the dairy farm industries. When the babies are born, then they are stolen from their mothers. That is mind-boggling that it is allowed. It's absolutely disgusting. No other words for it. What can I say? I rest my case. Then the fourth one is Brahmacharya, which means having a chaste life, chaste mind, chaste ways of doing. And yeah, for example, what we do to the dairy cows, we impregnate them artificially. Again, it's mind-boggling that it is even allowed, it is permitted, it should be absolutely illegal. But it is legal in most, if not all, places on earth, even those that say they don't do it. Should look closely at their practice. So we take away the normal nature things for cows and bulls to come together and have babies naturally in nature. So this is it's absolutely sad. And then the final one is Aparigraha, which is non-possessiveness, meaning we should just have as much as we need and not more. We shouldn't possess things just for possessing them. And of course, for animals, what do? We possess them. We take away their liberty, and they are no longer free to do whatever they like. We are greedy. We want more and more and more. And what to say? It's what we do to animals is it's a tragedy. It's an absolute tragedy, and unfortunately, we are all how do you say it? Go along with it. When we buy meat, fish, eggs, dairy from any animals, No, goats are not better. Honey too. What do we say? We violate all those 5 principles of yoga. And we don't, as they say, we don't blink an eye, because we do it out of habit, social norms, whatever. That's not right. That is just not right. So sometimes, I heard long time ago one yogi said that, like a teacher of yoga, a long time teacher, and he said, no, yoga, it allows us to eat anything. What to say? This is just he's a lovely person, but even lovely persons don't always get the proper facts right, proper I don't know. This just, I still remember it because it's like shocking to hear that from a yogi, and I'm sure many yogis also think maybe something similar. I hope not, but it's just habit of the mind, habit of the body, to just do what we want, to be free. No, yoga is about freedom of the soul, of the mind, but not at the expense of others. We cannot be free if we lock others in cages or in prisons just because we want to. They didn't commit any crime. So no, yoga does not permit us to do anything. And sometimes we hear, but dairy, yoga permits to drink dairy, or no. Again, yoga does not permit to do criminal things, and what we do to cows and all the milk animals is criminal, and so we cannot, that's not permitted. I am sorry, but that's not correct. Even some say that they have cows in their families, and like one cow that they use for drinking. First, we don't need to drink milk. It's not necessary for the health. On the contrary, it causes so much issues. Second, one should ask them, what do they do with the babies of the cows? Because if there's babies, then the milk goes to babies. Very little goes to the humans, or none. So no, it's again possessiveness. Cows are wild animals, at least they should be. So we take away their freedom, we tie them down to certain places, to a pole, and they are all alone. They miss their families. So we cannot do that. I'm sorry, that's not correct. I know there's a long traditions for that, but it doesn't mean it's right. Traditions sometimes are just something that we do for a very long time, and then we believe that is the truth, and we have to do it, or we can do it. But no, that's not true. We have to think. We are human beings. We have a mind. We can think by ourselves instead of following whatever we believe in, even scriptures. Instead of following scriptures, follow our own heart, our own mind, our logic. We are very logical beings. And scriptures are just something that was written a very long time ago by some being. He may or may not be an enlightened being, but even enlightened being doesn't mean they're perfect. They are like levels of enlightenment. So sometimes they can make mistakes, even enlightened beings. I don't want to say they are also humans, but yeah, we are amazing beings. We are wonderful. Each one of us is a wonderful being, wonderful, smart, wise being in our heart. But we need to use that wisdom. We need to think by ourselves. We should not always follow the scriptures. Scriptures are just there to guide us a little bit, no more. Just read the scripture just for because it's interesting. There's some wisdom in it, of course. I'm not against it. But sometimes people give the scriptures as an excuse to do anything that they like. In any religion, doesn't matter which religion. Scriptures, they cause issues. Instead of using our own compassionate heart, we basically give our mind to the scriptures, like the scripture becomes our mind. It's good to follow wise people. Again, I'm not against it. But even wise people can make mistakes, so we should think by ourselves. And I would say that, for example, those who follow a vegan lifestyle, like are very compassionate, I would call them the most spiritual beings on this planet currently, even more so than many spiritual gurus or masters. They are really doing it. They are really doing compassionate things to the animals, to everyone, and they do it. Many of them, not all, but many of them do it for ethical reasons. At least in the beginning, it may not be ethical, but it transforms into an ethical stance. And then every one of them I would call like kind of a prophet. It's like a saint. Every vegan is saintly, if not a saint, at least saintly being. Can we say the same of all spiritual beings? What does spirituality mean? What does it mean to be spiritual? Why are we spiritual? Why do we meditate? Why do we practice yoga? Okay, that's a different video, I should say, but we do it in order to expand our consciousness, expand our compassionate heart. And if we don't expand it, if we continue to eat meat, fish, eggs, dairy, honey, once we know that it is wrong, I mean, before we don't always know what's happening. Me too. I was also not vegan, not vegetarian until I was 18. I had no idea what was happening there. I just followed whatever my social life said, or my family, and then I was enlightened in this aspect by my spiritual guide. So yeah, I would say that whoever goes vegan becomes a saintly person, at least in this time on this planet, because this planet is so upside down that to become vegan is like, whoa, what's happening? How come a person suddenly understands what's happening? And that's magical. That's like enlightenment, like compassion enlightenment, one could say. And that's just the starting point, really, being vegan is the starting point, because the human body is meant to be vegan. We are meant to, we should be vegan from birth, basically. But most of us aren't. But once we know that we should, we must, really. And there's no choice. We should take some time to think about it, and then we just follow some maybe 21 days challenge or 31 days challenge, like Veganuary or others may exist, and then we switch. It's as easy as that, and then we become enlightened, compassionate enlightened, and then we are even higher than some gurus and masters, because veganism is so important, because it's a compassionate heart. It shows that we have compassion, like the Buddha. He was such a compassionate person, and I'm sure that if he was living in this time, he would be vegan 100% of it, I'm sure. So I talked much too long this time. I'm sorry, but it's like a rant. But thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful, 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 wonderful day.